neighborhood. But anyway, duplex, I bought it. I have all this equity. I don't know why I haven't tapped into this equity, but maybe because in the last 5-6 years, I've focused on my building my brokerage business. But now it's time to get back into investing, and we're going to leverage that. And so today's topic is we're talking about how you finance investment properties. And you don't have to have your own money, but obviously it helps. When they say cash is king, you really have a lot of flexibility regarding having cash. Now, I'll make a comment. A lot of investors out there are looking to get properties at pennies on the dollar, which that is their right, but don't expect that as the norm. If I'm trying to sell if I know my house, we'll use this duplex as an example, is worth $365,000, and let's say that's a 10% cap rate. I am not selling the house for half of its value just to get quick cash, unless, I needed the money for some ungodly reason where I needed it right now. Then I'm not selling my property for anything less. And so we're getting, when you have cash, yes, you have some leverage, but, and you might get some discount, but, you're really going to have to catch somebody at their lowest point in their life where they're going to give up an asset to you at 50%. Let's just say, as an example, 50% of what it's worth. So, but if you purchase a property for its cash flow and for its long-term appreciation, I think you'll have a better chance to find decent deals. Not home runs, but you're gonna hit, as they say, singles and doubles instead of home runs every time you purchase a property. So, but if all you want to do is hit home runs, then by all means. When we were flipping houses, we would put in about 100 offers a month and maybe get 1 or 2 under contract. So that's 2 to 5% that we put out there that got under contract at the price, because we were buying houses normally 50% of their value. Now and then the other thing that people don't realize is that there's going to be a good amount of distress in these properties. So a lot of repairs, maybe they might not be in the best neighborhoods. So don't expect that you're going to get a Class A property that's turnkey in the suburbs for 50 cents on the dollar. And if you do that and you don't have the money, call me. We'll finance that deal somehow. So getting back to the topic about financing, you can go to your bank and get a normal mortgage, but if you're not living in the property, then you're going to have to get a investor loan, which sometimes requires 25 to 30% down payment. So be prepared for that. You got to have, that's where the cash comes in. Or you can, if you don't have the cash, you can borrow that cash. So borrowing from family and friends, the old, can I borrow some money request from your family and friends. So hopefully you built a reputation and character enough that they will loan you money, and then obviously you want to pay that back and probably give them some interest and then they'll be compelled to lend you more later on. And then you can go to your circle of influence, your family, friends, employees, co-workers, that sort of thing. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I used a lot of self-directed IRA money. So I used to work at the Cleveland Clinic. Doctors had 403B money, so retirement money in an IRA or a 403B or even a 401k, that you can transfer that to a specific, what they call custodian. I used Equity Trust here in Westlake in the Cleveland area, and they can they put that into an IRA, and the IRA basically owns the asset. And so there's a lot of laws and rules about using that money. So read up on that, on how to utilize self-directed IRAs to invest in properties. So there's another way. And then there's hard money, which, that can come in a lot of forms of basically hard money lenders are private lenders that have money from other investors so that, and they're usually at higher interest rates, but they will loan you the money based on the cash flow or potential cash flow of the property you're buying. So that's definitely not a vehicle for permanent financing, but if you do find a deal and you need the money right away, then you could use hard money, so that the asset is the collateral and then also the cash flow is the collateral. So in case you cannot pay that loan back, then then they will take over the house, and that the loan can be guaranteed that way. So and then there's raising private funds of your own. So again, I'm not an attorney. You need to talk to probably a securities attorney, because there's so many rules that the SEC puts out in regards to borrowing money, and just read up on all the Ponzi schemes and scams that people have been involved with in just even in the Cleveland area, where people say, okay, I have this project, invest in this project, and then you will get some form of returns, whether it's an interest or whether you get some equity in the deal or what have you, and then they were using that money to pay off other debts and hoping that their project would kick in and pay themselves back. And if the project goes south for whatever reason, now you're stuck with paying somebody back without any cash flow coming from a property or development that you promised that you would use that money for. So again, your reputation, your word is your bond in this in these times. I don't care if you sign any piece of paper. It's really how you portray yourself and how you build trust with your investors and community. I can call investors that I worked with 15, even 20 years ago, and they know that they're going to get their money back. They know that that their investment is safe, because anything I tell them that I'm going to do, I will do, and I won't sleep, I won't eat until I repay that money back to them, so because I want to have access to those funds later on. So just a word of advice: if you're starting to borrow money from people, then make sure that they are the number one priority to get paid back, and before you get any money yourself from the deal.